to the honorable judges, Ustaz Arba and Ustazah Mukmana. Right here, I want to convey my stand to you. And for the title is Comparison of Maternity Holiday Outside with Muhammad and James. And the background, why I chose this paper is Young is the spirit of a nation and religion. Why? Because youth meaning powerful, who has high spirit and intellectual. So, and second years, youth is the agent of change in development. Why? Because youth is, as I said before, youth is knowledgeable. So they can decide to redirect the future of a nation or a religion. There's a statement: if you want to look a bad or a good of a nation or a religion, you can look at the youth, because the young generation will generate the next generation of that nation. And third is tradition means to have maturity of time. Why? Because with maturity of time, today's youth can build up and get things done with measure, need, and order. And the fourth is today's youth. I admit this is not at all. This is just a few phenomena. First is as my survey in my classroom, they act like they need knowledges. They spend their time in vain. So many language. That's not supposed to be the today's youth. And Janet Hicks, she is psychology from Psychology Today Best in US. She said, if I had an equal for every time I heard an adult say that today's youth are irresponsible or worse than their generation, I would be rich. That's mean, I don't mean that at all. That's mean a few phenomena. Today's youth is not supposed to be. The formulation of problem is first, how the maturity of thought of Muhammad al-Fatih and in his youth. And the second, how the maturity of thought of today's youth. And the third is how comparative maturity of thought between Muhammad al-Fatih and today's youth. And the purpose of our research is to know how the maturity of thought of Muhammad al-Fatih and his youth, to know how maturity of thought of today's youth, and to know how comparative of them. I took the first of outline one. This is explain that Allah said, don't leave the weak generation. And I want to explain about my literature review, all the research, and all the supporting data. First, the definition of youth, according to the scientists, first, from World Health Organization, is someone who is in 10 until 20 years, or young people, and for someone who is in 10 until 90 years, WHO mentioned with anosmia or tea. And concerning rats age, one of the level attained in human circumstances where the level can move to the growth and change. And the third is Taufik Abdurrahman said, new generation in one community format change to be better. And age of youth, according to the rules, that state unit 1, first one, the rule of youth mentioned. Youth is citizen of Indonesia who enter the important period of development and growth, who is in 16 until 30 years old. So, and I will explain what is the definition of maturity and time. First, maturity. According to KBBI, Kamus Besar Bahasa Indonesia, maturity is the condition of individualism in fully growing, signed by capability of actual in making consideration naturally. And the definition of third is the developing of idea and concept in individualism. This developing of idea and concept runs throughout the process of relationship between the parts of information that attach in individualism. And the role of youth, based on a few search. First, those are always calling for the truth. Youth are always calling for the truth, for the al-haq. Then, those who love Allah and make the wahyu as a Christ. So, who always on behalf for Allah, or do anything just for Allah, and make the wahyu as a priest. And the third driving force in nation development, as I said before, youth is high spirit, powerful, and intellectual, so they can decide what is to redirect the future of a nation. It will be bad or it will be good. And the second is to create an inspiration for solving kind of condition and problem. The youth would have knowledge about be an inspiration for solving kind of conditions and problems. And this is at a glance about Muhammad al-Fatih. And the character of Muhammad al-Fatih is first, expert in many sciences. He always interested to learn more and more sciences like history, languages, strategic war, and whatever. And the second is mastering languages. In this era, that's very important to mastering the languages because we can dakwah and more wide. And in this condition, Muhammad al-Fatih is a king, is a sultan from Uthmani Empire, Ottoman Empire. So he used his capability for da'wah and for conquer a nation for Dinoa. And the third is his interest to learn history. Why? Because Muhammad al-Fatih always take lessons, so many lessons in where we learn history. So we not repeat the fault in past to the future. And Muhammad al-Fatih also always taqwa environment. He always protect himself to protect his eyes, his ears, his mouth, and loving the knowledge and the teachers. Muhammad al-Fatih loving the science, loving the knowledge that make him to be able to learn more and more. And he also respect to his teachers and have a strong feeling to Allah and be consistent in ibadah. Muhammad al-Fatih believe in God that Allah will help him and be consistent in ibadah. Since his akhir balik, Muhammad al-Fatih never leave salat rawatib, sunnah, and qiyamul lail. And this is the process of forming of thought of Muhammad al-Fatih, the role of his teachers during his teaching. I figured out one of his teacher is Sheikh Shamsuddin, because Sheikh is very nearest with Muhammad al-Fatih. Sheikh teach him to always try to teach him with the meaning of Iman, Islam, and Ihsan to his heart. So Muhammad al-Fatih always near with his heart about Iman, Islam, and Ihsan. And second is, Iman strong belief in Allah and always remind the importance of running the Sharia of Allah. Because if Muhammad al-Fatih have a strong belief in God and always remind the importance of running the Sharia of Allah, and Muhammad al-Fatih get a help from Allah. Another is always ask to discuss and exchange ideas. Sheikh always ask Muhammad al-Fatih to discuss and exchange ideas about everything, about strategy of war, about history, about problem of the nation, problem of the kingdom. And the fourth is make the character of Muhammad al-Fatih as the same as look beyond the eyes can see. Muhammad al-Fatih has a principle, look beyond the eyes can see. That means if we say that's impossible, but Muhammad al-Fatih believes that's possible. Impossible is nothing for him. And next is methodology. My work to do this research. The method is used by the author is quantitative method. And auto collecting data is giving away the questionnaires to 30 respondents. And the result and discussion is, this is the diagram and this is the explanation. Based on the table above shown in slide before, 86% answer yes for the statements about loving the knowledge and the teachers. And 33% answer yes for the statements about mastering languages. And 100% answer yes for the statements about interest in history, taqwa, wara, and strong willing also. 33 answer yes for the statements about consistency to the end. And the conclusions and recommendation. First, the majority of thought of Muhammad al-Fatih trained since he was kid by his father and his teachers. His true character directed to the positive thing, so many he was the persistent, wise, and the honorable leader. And the second conclusion is the majority of thought of today's youth is almost similar with Muhammad al-Fatih. Today's youth realize that they are the next generation of nation that must create their own self to be better and they will increase the consistency of the ibadah. And the last is the comparison quality maturity of thought between Muhammad al-Fatih and today's youth is today's youth have a dominant similarities with Muhammad al-Fatih. It proves that 80-10 from 25 statements that author gives to 30 respondents show that it means today's youth had 72% similarities with Muhammad al-Fatih. As in the recommendation from the author is, based on my research, is today's youth must watch more about behavior and character of Muhammad al-Fatih and be close to Allah. Also make Muslim figures as a role model in their life.